the highlight of the entire hearing, and then we'll move on to the new Republican national platform, which is highly controversial among Republicans, and we'll get into that in just a moment. First, though, Ben was there, as you might have seen, and Ben was testifying alongside all these lib hacks. And then some lib hacks in Congress wanted to take on Ben. So Eric Swalwell of Fang fame decided he wasn't going to ask Ben really anything about GARM or advertising from the Daily Wire. He was going to talk about Project 2025.
And the country has, in the last couple of weeks, talked a lot about and Googled Project 2025. It's one of the most Googled search terms right now. And you're not going to get any censorship from me. So I just wanted to know, from your perspective, I think it would help us understand, on just like a scale of 0 to 100%, how much do you support Project 2025?
I think, like President Trump, I haven't looked all that deeply at Project 2025, but it seems that Democrats on this committee, sort of like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, if they say Project 2025 enough, their presidential candidate becomes alive again.
And so
Swalwell goes on. He takes the licks. Poor Swalwell just got absolutely destroyed by Ben Shapiro destroys Fang's boyfriend with facts and logic and snark. He goes on to ask Ben about mass deportation, about the abortion pill, about the definition of marriage, about Ben's sexual desires, his own sexual desires. And I'm not even going to waste our time on these questions, because what matters here is what Swalwell was not talking about. This was a hearing on how the libs are trying to choke out conservative media outlets, how the libs are trying to censor conservatives, how libs are weaponizing corporate America and international corporations even to bleed out the conservative organizations and suppress their reach, and how big tech is complicit in that, and how that's what this hearing was about. And Swalwell didn't want to talk about it for 1 second. These libs didn't want to talk about it for 1 second, because they know we have got them dead to rights on this. They have no defense of it whatsoever. It is obscene. And so they're going to distract any way they can. No, can we talk about abortion more, please? No. What do you think about Project 2025? It's the new January 6th. Project 2025 is officially the new January 6th. And Ben says, I don't know. I don't really know much about it. It's at the Heritage Foundation. I don't know. Well, yeah, sure. But did you know that just the other day, the Biden campaign, they love posting the highlights of my show. The Biden campaign said, Trump operative explains how Project 2025 is going to turn Trump into a dictator. And I looked at my clip, which was really an excellent clip. Nice, they pull out good stuff from my show. But then I read the caption, and I thought, well, I'm not a political operative. I'm a podcast host and author and lecturer. I don't work for Donald Trump. I support the guy, but I don't work for him. I didn't say that about Project 2025, and if I had, that wouldn't be an accurate description of Project 2025. But other than that, spot on. Good job, Biden campaign. Maybe the Biden campaign has dementia too. I know the man does. Maybe the campaign does too. They're really hyper-focused on this. Why? Because they got nothing on Trump. Because they got nothing on the Daily Wire. Because they got nothing. So they have to distract with all of this. And this leads us into the RNC. RNC is next week. Very excited. It's going to be a big convention, especially because we don't really know who the Democrat nominee is. Every day it seems that Joe Biden's grip on the party is slipping and slipping. Trump got in trouble among some Republicans because he appears to have altered the party platform. And this will be fought over, including through next week in Milwaukee. But it would appear that the Republican National Committee has removed language about desiring a national ban on abortion, and has removed language about marriage obviously being the union of a man and a woman, not, three dudes and a billy goat or whatever the libs want it to be now. It's just a natural institution. So the RNC has removed this kind of language, and some people are really up in arms about this. And you know me, okay? I'm the D-O-double-G. No, I'm not. I'm Michael Knowles, and I'm extremely pro-life, totally pro-life. I totally defend marriage as it actually is. I don't think we can just change the definition of marriage. I don't think men and women are indiscernible and immutable. And I think, sex is real and permanent, and marriage is a union between a man and a woman for the purpose of the procreation and education of children, and also for the mutual support of the spouses. And so I have as rock-ribbed and consistent a view on these issues as anybody. And yet I'm not huffing and puffing and screaming at Trump about this. Why? Because I think some of the consternation over the party platform change comes from a misunderstanding of what a party platform is. A party platform exists to help candidates get elected. That's what the party platform is for. The candidates are not there for the party platform. The party platform is there to help the candidates. Trump is looking pretty good. If you look at really any of the polls right now, he's destroying Biden with facts and logic and votes. The areas where the Democrats really want to focus in are areas like abortion or the LGBT, LMNOP, gay marriage or something. That's where they're honing in. Ben Shapiro goes to Capitol Hill to testify about how the libs are trying to destroy the Daily Wire. The Democrat congressmen only want to talk about the abortion pill and these highly controversial issues. So it seems politically prudent, if you're Trump, to distance yourself from Project 2025. I think Project 2025 is great. What I know of it, the people who are involved, the people leading it, the purpose of it, which is to bring great personnel into the next administration, whoever's administration that is, to recognize that personnel is policy, and all. I think it's absolutely terrific. And I also think it's probably wise of President Trump to rightly say that he's not directly involved in this and he doesn't really know much about it. I want to see abortion totally eradicated from public life entirely, worldwide. It's just not defensible to murder innocent little babies. It's child sacrifice and it's Moloch worship, and it's as wicked and evil a thing as imaginable, and it is the worst kind of persecution against the most innocent people in the world, and it's just a complete denial of the fundamental right from which all the other rights come. So I certainly think that. Also, I recognize that in a post-Dobbs world, advocating for life is going to look a little bit different. In a world where Roe v. Wade is the law of the land and no one thinks it's really going to change, a party platform might help candidates by looking a certain way and calling for a national abortion ban. After the Supreme Court says the issue goes back to the states, conservatives have been calling for it to go to the states. It's not going to be decided at the federal level. The 2 or 3 years after that controversial decision comes down, it's going to look a little different. Same with marriage. I don't think you can change the definition of marriage. I think gay marriage is a complete joke. It's absurd, and it's harmful to society in as much as it's absurd. And when you try, and it cuts at the fundamental political unit, which is the family. So it really cuts at the very heart of our politics. And we could go on about why marriage matters ad nauseum. Also, it's probably politically wise to take it out of the party platform, because you're not really going to win new people over to your side with that. And now there's a fear here. The fear is, well, what if Donald Trump gets elected and then starts pushing abortion? What if he, it's not just that he wants to downplay the abortion issue in the election, but what if he's really pro-abortion or something like that? Well, I don't think he is. He's the first president to speak at the March for Life, first sitting president to do that. And he's the guy who got the judges to overrule Roe v. Wade after almost 50 years. So I guess I'm just willing to give the guy a little bit more grace in his language, especially when he's saying, look, I just want to get elected, guys, because we know what he's done. He's had a term as president already, and he's the most pro-life president we've ever had. So forgive me for just giving him a little grace on this and thinking, okay, past might be precedent. Same with the marriage thing. If I found out, President Trump secretly wanted to abolish marriage and, start hosting orgies or something, I don't know. I guess that would be, that would give me pause. But I don't think it's that. I think he's just a normal guy, and I don't think it's a top issue for him. And but I don't think he's going to move the country in a more radical direction on marriage. I think he just wants to downplay, and he recognizes it's kind of a dead issue right now. So as a matter of political prudence, what he's doing is probably smart. This will all be controverted, in Milwaukee. But it just seems to me people are taking cheap shots at Trump, and they're missing the forest for the trees here. It's not like we don't know who this guy is. He's already been president. That's why this election and this convention and this nominating process, that's why it's going to look different. None of us has seen this in our lifetimes. That was a great clip. Now, hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.